Hey, you want to know what the most horrible thing you can say is?
By the way, ladies, that's why you should be careful how you dress. My daddy always said, if you're not in business, don't advertise.
Jennifer Moore, 18, on her way to college, she was, 5'2", 105 pounds, wearing a mini skirt and a halter top with a bare midriff. Now, again, there you go. So every predator in the world is going to pick that up at 2 in the morning. She's walking by herself.
This is insane. This is absurd. This is hurtful. This is crazy. I don't even know. This is just batshit. I think Bill O'Reilly did a good job at explaining the argument. Because of what they were wearing, these girls got raped. And basically, what they're saying is that they're alleviating the men of some of the guilt. And I don't care if that's what they can say, that's not what we're doing at all they want. That's what they're doing. If you say that if the girl hadn't gone out wearing a halter top and a mini skirt, she wouldn't have gotten raped, you're saying that the man isn't all at fault and that it's partly the girl's fault. First of all, true or not, which sort of is, I'll talk about it. True or not, that is the most hurtful thing you can say to any victim of rape. Of course, I wouldn't expect these crazy Christian conservative assholes to know anything about rape. Anyway, they say things like this, and why is not everyone enraged at this shit? They're saying it's her fault. They're blaming her for it. It is statistically higher that you are more likely to be raped if you have long hair, if you're wearing a skirt, and if a whole bunch of other things. You are statistically more likely to get raped. Then again, you're statistically more likely to get attacked by people if you're in a certain area of town. Does that mean you shouldn't go there? Does that mean that you're at fault if you go through that area of town and you have to go through that area of town? No, you're not at fault. And the fact that these guys say these things basically just... It basically says that these women are partly the guilty parties. And this is sexist, and both to men and women. To women, as I've already explained, because basically it... Fucking fly. Women, because, again, it says that they are completely responsible for the crime that happened to them. This makes me physically ill. And men, because it insinuates that wherever you go, there's always a man sitting in a car, driving around, trying to rape people. Of course, that's just if you state the argument outright. But, it's horrible. It says men are in part innocent for the horrible crime they committed. And whether they will say this or not, or whether they will admit to this or not, this is what they are saying. And they'll try and say, no, it's not. We never said anything like that. That's not what we meant. You're taking what we said out of context. No, I'm not. What you say isn't half as important as how you say it. Then again, I wouldn't expect a whole bunch of fucking Christian psycho maniacs to do this, especially when they're all hyper-conservative and they take the Old Testament literally. Here, let me read you a passage from the Bible. Deuteronomy chapter 22, verse 23 to 29. If, while in the town, a man happens to meet a woman who is engaged to be married, and he seizes her and rapes her, take them both to the gate of the town and stone them to death. The girl for not having cried out for help in the town, the man for having violated another man's wife. You must banish the evil from among you. But if while in a country a man happens to meet a girl engaged to be married, and seizes her and rapes her, the rapist alone must die. You must do nothing to the girl. She has not committed a sin worthy of death, for she may have called out for help, but no one would come to her rescue. If a man happens to meet a virgin woman who is not engaged to be married, and seizes her and rapes her, but is caught in the act, the rapist must pay the girl's father 50 silver shekels. She must marry the rapist because he has violated her, and so long as he lives, he may not divorce her. So basically, again, a woman is responsible for the rape. If she doesn't scream out, doesn't call out, then it's her fault. You know, when I was looking for these quotes, I desperately tried to find something from Pat Robertson, and I couldn't do it. I I just couldn't find anything by him. But I did find something about what he said. I couldn't find any clips of it, but I did find he said he agreed with this judgment a cleric made. Basically, a cleric in Saudi Arabia, I think it was, decided to increase the punishment on several men who had gang raped a woman. But at the same token, they also increased the punishment on the victim. How could they do that? It's like saying you're guilty of being shot. That's what it's saying. You're guilty of someone trying to kill you. You're guilty for someone killing you. It's disgusting. And why isn't anyone else enraged? This is just one of the many disgusting myths propagated by the faith of these psycho-Christians. And the biggest lie, the biggest load of bullshit they have ever told is their lie of love. I have gotten into so many debates with these Christians who are homophobic, who are zealots, and all this. And you know what they always say? They'll always say things like,
Well, that's a faulty proposition and a misstatement of the facts. I probably love them more than anyone sitting in this room.
"No, Miss Phelps, I kindly disagree with your statement." Ugh. No, you don't love someone. You can't love someone if you spend your life going around saying, God has killed people because of the way this person was born. It is scientific fact that homosexuals are born gay. And I don't care if anyone says it isn't, it is. And if you deny it, then you are a conspiracy theorist. I'm probably going to be quote lined for that. Anyway, yes, you are a hateful person. If you march around saying, my deity says you are going to hell, and you yell this into people's faces, if people share that same deity, and if people believe that that same deity is saying that same thing, you're wrong. And you are hateful, whether you think you are or not. You can say you love homosexuals, but you can't possibly love a gay man when you're too busy telling him he's gonna go to hell. Shirley Phelps, you are one of the most hateful people in America, and I am completely disturbed by you and your family. It really depresses me when people start hating other people because of a god or a deity, especially considering that a personal god is highly unlikely to exist. Honestly, what logic is there in a god who spends his particular time and focuses all his energy on one particular race of mammals, on one particular planet, in one particular solar system, in one particular galaxy, and quite possibly one particular universe? What kind of god would waste his time with that? I know very well if I were a god, I would probably just create the universe and go and do something really weird, or, well, I may interfere with the lives of the crazy people, but that would just be to fuck with their heads. But I'm getting off topic. It really does bother me how people see this. I mean, honestly, I think the way Carl Sagan put it, it came out best. Imagine the endless hatred and cruelties of people vested on one corner of this pixel towards the scarcely distinguishable inhabitants of some other corner. Our pale blue dot, our Earth, is inhabited by people who think they're bigger than they really are, who think their hateful prejudices are important on a cosmic scale. No, they're not. The Earth is really nothing more than an insignificant speck in all that there is in this universe. And that's beautiful. I find that truly beautiful. It's the small things that change the world. It's the cells that make up us, and we can't even see them. It's the atoms that make up the cells. It's the ants and the bees that sustain the ecosystems of the Earth. So, why bother? Why bother hating people just for some deity? Doesn't make sense. It's really a waste of your time.